and gentlemen, on behalf of the beautiful Downtown Club and Frederick Hart Entertainment, my name is Frederick Hart, bidding you a warm welcome and a very pleasant good evening. At this time, I would like to introduce honored guests and the bridal party. So let me begin by directing your attention to the table named Addison Street, where we welcome the grandparents of the bride, Mr. and Mrs. Anthony and Elizabeth Charlone. And the grandmother of the bride, Mrs. Lula Bonham. And now directing your attention to the table named Cypress, please welcome the grandmother of the groom, Mrs. Dorothy Weir. And now directing your attention to the double doors entrance of the ballroom, we welcome the parents of the bride, Mr. and Mrs. Stephen and Kelly Charlone. Followed by the mother and stepfather of the groom, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas and Beverly Longacre. Followed by father and stepmother of the groom, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas and Brenda Boytham. And now the members of the bridal party, beginning with bridesmaid Melissa Allen, escorted by groomsman David Flynn. Followed by bridesmaid Janelle Hollister, escorted by groomsman Edward Kennedy. Next, please welcome bridesmaid Amanda Gerwig, escorted by groomsman Brett Love. Next, please welcome bridesmaid Denise Stout, escorted by groomsman Brian Couchon. And finally, two very special people in the lives of the bride and groom. It's maid of honor, little sister of the bride, Samantha Charlone, escorted by the best man, little brother of the groom, Justin Boykin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite those of you comfortable doing so to please stand. Please join me in bidding welcome to the new Mr. and Mrs. David and Stacy Boyton. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated as the bride and groom share in their first dance together as husband and wife. It's to a song from Van Morrison, and this is called Someone Like You. Again, I present to you Stacy and David and the bridal dance.
I'm going to tell a story about how I saw two primates at the zoo yesterday that acted just like my brother and I. And I'm going to tell some embarrassing shit that we used to do to like each other and my mom. And then I'll say
upon the father of the bride, Mr. Stephen Charlot, to take the hand of his lovely daughter, Mrs. Stacy David, for their dance to a Frank Sinatra classic. It's called The Way You Look Tonight. Again, I present to you bride and daddy.